Welcome to Kill Team Casuals, a podcast all about Kill Team filmed in 3 different time zones by 3 different gents.
Hey friends, Ben here, the only one on the podcast without a cool accent. Just dropping by to say thanks a ton for listening or watching, however you enjoy the podcast. It really does mean a lot to us. And if you are a faithful listener or unfaithful listener, we don't judge, and you're thinking, man, I just can't get enough of these 3 rascally boys and their casual Kill Team talk. What else can I do to support? Where else can I find these guys? Well, friend, I would point you to the Kill Team Casuals Patreon page. For just a few bucks a month, whatever you wouldn't miss falling out of your pocket, you can get access to the full long-form video podcast, as well as stay up to know, in the know, or all around the know, all up inside the know, if you will, on what's going on, all these Patreon extracurricular activities, this fun stuff. So, and if you want to be a real baller, you could even be a guest on Legions of Rust, the world-famous game show at the very tippy-top tier. And if you want to be the coolest nerd at your local game store, you can check out some sweet Casual Wargamers merch. That's short for merchandise, if you didn't know, at our Teespring shop. It's getting a little too silly. casualwargamers.creator-teespring.com. And as always, we go live most Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. Thanks so much. I will shut up. Back to the lovely show.
Let's run down. So who do you think we're going to have in the team? And like, first off, how big do you think this team is? How many operatives are we talking?
10 models.
Yeah, okay.
I think 10 models.
I think so too.
Surely.
Yeah.
10 models, 8 wounds, 4 up save.
You think
I feel
8
like that's
wounds?
pretty. Oh yeah, what do you think?
I was thinking maybe 9. I don't know. Like,
I would like 9,
Hearthkin,
but I think 8.
I feel like they've gone through, haven't scouts gone through almost most of the changes to become Astartes at this point? It depends, I guess, what stage we're getting the kill team. It might be first deployment. Or like, yeah. You know what?
I would like 9, but I expect 8.
You expect 8. Okay, so you think 10 and 8. AO Adrian's thinking 8 at 10, which I'm also kind of, I could see it happening. I could see them being, the only reason I don't think they'll be 10 is because Orcs are 10, and I think the university, they'd be like, Orcs are tougher. Yeah. Plus they're a 5 up save, so they wouldn't, so a 10 wounds at a 4 up save is probably way too, but there's 2 less bodies. You know what? It's hard to call. It's hard to call it. But yeah, I was thinking a 10-man team as well, and I was thinking between 8 to 10 wounds for all of them. Okay. But I was thinking, because it's a classic lineup, I'm thinking we might get 2 of 3 heavy weapons, and you've got a heavy bolter, missile launcher, and maybe a grenade launcher, and then maybe a flamer.
Oh, grenade launcher.
Yeah, I think they'll give us like a flamer, a grenade. Like,
really?
If it's a kill team bespoke team, I think we'll be getting the choice, because we've definitely seen the heavy bolter and the missile launcher. There's no surprises. We're seeing them. We know we're going to get a marksman because they're just a scout staple.
Yeah, the sniper.
I think they might be like, how about?
Ooh, I don't think we're getting a gunner.
You don't think there's not even a heavy gunner?
I think you have either I bet they're going to make us choose between whether you get the missile launcher or the heavy bolter. Or actually, you might be right. Maybe you take both.
Yeah, I think you get 2 out of 3, yeah.
So here's what I think it is then. I think there's no regular gunner, but maybe you can take 2 heavy gunners.
I think you get 2 heavy gunners and a sniper. Okay. You don't get a plasma gunner. So that's what I think. I think there'll be a marksman, the classic. You're going to take the marksman. The classic silent, mortal wound 3, awesome. I think there's going to be 1 or 2 combat guys, but like, you know how you got options to be like pistol and knife? Mm-hmm. I think those will be
there's the Reaver guy.
Yeah,
have you seen the Reaver guy? Yeah. So you have like a little Reaver guy with a combat knife.
Yeah.
And I imagine on the warrior profile, you can either take shotgun, bolter, or bolt, pistol, and knife, probably, right?
That's kind of what I mean. I think there'll probably be a dedicated combat guy, but the rest of them will be options. You're going to get a comms. You're going to get some sort of medic and maybe some sort of bomb guy. But I think they'll try and make it as more scouty, like trip mine. And it might be the model will have him maybe putting down like a trip line or something like that. And you know what would be cool?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, if you connect it to heavy, and basically you draw a line between heavy. So if you can dash between heavy, you can be like, I start there, start trip mine, dash, and then I get a free move away. I would be like, ooh, that'd be cool. And then it just basically, it's exactly the same as a proximity mine, but it's a little bit, it gives you some bit of flavor. You're going to get a recon guy, and this is going to be the meat of the list. And this guy is going to either be able to forward deploy or allow double recon, or maybe allow you to take equipment that lets him forward deploy or something like that.
Yeah, that feels spot on.
Yeah.
Very stealthy. Definitely feels like a team that is more stealthy than punchy. Is my with like you have like the heavy gunners, but man, that's going to be tough because they're probably not getting suspensor systems.
No,
so we're probably getting the. Yeah, I don't think they should. They're just kids.
I'm not a massive
punks.
fan of the old suspensor. I mean, it's great as an equipment, but it kind of it just takes away the
be too good
flip side of taking heavy. But I think so. And
2 APL for sure, right?
2 APL,
2 APL,
maybe
for sure.
And here's where I'm getting into my wish list territory. So also monkey mode, camo cloaks. I think that'll be equipment points.
Ooh,
and I think,
totally.
You know what? Based on how they're currently doing it, they might just be like 1 EP and just be like, you can take the entire team with camo cloaks, and it'll be something like you can retain an extra save if you're in cover.
Pretty wild.
And it'll be something like that, which can be pretty good at a 4-up save.
So we're dancing around it. What do you think? And this is what I have no clue on, really. But the first thing, like, what do you think is their team ability? Right. My first thought was extra save, but that's the Kroot thing.
Yeah,
that's the Kroot's action ability. So I don't think they would. And like charge from conceal, that's Orc's thing. I don't think they would give it to him. So what's it going to be?
You know what I would like to see?
Scout tokens. I've cracked the code.
I mean, that's what it is. Honestly, I think that's what it's going to be. It might be interesting. You know what I mean? If they do a mix between like Wormblade's conceal thing and just be like, you can redeploy your tokens. But I don't think it's that going to be. But it'll probably be scout tokens or camo tokens.
Something, scouty, stealthy, reconnaissance focused.
I'd love them to do a mix of what they've done with Intercession on like a different scale. Like what I kind of want is a mix between Intercession and Hyrotech. So what I mean by that is they mix in, so the entire flavor's done, and then you get to your leader, and this is where they add the kind of Intercession style, kind of Hyrotech style change, and you pick what legion you pick changes your leader. So the example being, and I know this won't happen because it would be insanely hard to balance, but this is what I want. So, for example, you go Space Wolves, because it's the classic example. Your leader gets to take a strat ploy for 0 CP of your choice and gets 1 additional wound to 12 because he's a grizzled vet. And maybe he gets +1 to weapon skill or something. So that's his thing. You can pick one of your strat ploys to do as a 0 CP, and he gets an extra wound because he's grizzled.
Interesting.
So, and then if you take Salamanders, your Flamers are 3/4, and instead you get to take 2 Flamers or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Blood Angels, you get a free strat ploy, whereas like the first time you can only use it once. These are like one uses. The first time you strike in combat, you get Ceaseless. So you take a bunch of melee dudes, you take Blood Angels, and he gets a free drop a CP strat ploy, and everyone gets Ceaseless for a turn. And Ultramarines, on a 4-up, you can whip out the Codex Astartes and like bore the opponent to death. I joke, I love Ultramarines, but like something funky where they get some sort of redeploy. But I'd like them to do something.
It's interesting.
Yeah, different. Because Hyrotech felt a bit different, where you're like the leader, your game style is sort of is kind of
built around your leader choice.
It really is. So you're either playing a defensive or attacky, and I like that it's led by the leader as it should. And I kind of like, that'd be cool if they were like, okay, bring in chapter rules, but tie them to a leader character, so it buffs them in a certain way, and it leaves it a bit open. I like the idea of that.
I love the idea of that, because I would love for them to have chapter tactics. I'm actually leaning the opposite way, funnily enough. Funny enough, in the art we've seen for them, they've been Raven Guard.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
So I think maybe this is a Raven Guard scouting band or something.
I think that's easy.
So it's definitely easier. I would love chapter tactics for them, to where you can kind of pick your own, like Intercession. That's the fun thing about Intercession, is you build your own. It's very fun. I almost wonder if they're going to go the opposite way and do that. This is the Raven Guard scouting party situation.
Yeah.
And you get locked in.
I can
Which
see
would be
that.
Opposite of the cool thing you just said. But I feel like that's what GW would more do.
I see
but I
that.
would love like the flavor. Oh man, again, this is Necromunda I'm talking about here. But like pie in the sky, like, oh man, if you pick salamanders, then your leader guy can take a thunder hammer. Their thunder hammer doesn't come in the box. Like, it's not going to happen. They would never do this. But man, wouldn't that be fun? Like,
that's kind of what I want. But I know I think you are right. I think that it's you're going to get the Raven, and it'll be something like Scout Team Sevastus, and it's going to be a very specific team, and it's going to be a named, kind of like the Justine. It's going to be like, here it is, the team you can take, and then in that case, it's going to be very stealthy. So it's
stealthy like that. Cut the lights out.
So I think but if it is Raven Guard, I think that means that we're going to get a very specific, like Taken, very specific set of rules. And it's going to be, we're going to get that one, whereas if you're shooting at them from over 6 inches away, they count as in cover.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I think that'll be it.
I like
They'll
that
be
a lot.
You're in cover. Yeah, so I think Wormblade.
Oh, dude, I bet that's it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
man, that feels like we're onto something.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
So it's going to be
all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, smoke grenades, and if you're more than 6 inches away from your opponent, you count as conceal, and it's just going to be like, oof.
Yeah,
that's going to be rough.
I like that a lot.
That sounds like a team that would get nerfed. Oh, you know what? They wouldn't. I don't think they would do too good against. I mean, they'll be amazing against
the melee
shooting teams, but yeah, like the melee summer, like commandos would crunch them, cults would crunch them.
Oh, just crump them to death. Yeah.
But it'd be interesting because that feels like the classic Raven Guard thing where you're far away and you can't see them. And I'm sure they'll have a bunch of strat ploys to do everything. But yeah, I don't know what to expect. Thanks for watching. The full pod is available where you listen to your podcast. We stream live on Twitch at Casual Wargamers, and the full video podcast is available now to all tiers of our Patreon. See you next week.